On this episode of Plus Club for August, we'll be discussing Hunter's Arena Legends, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, Tennis World Tour 2. But before we discuss those games, quick reminder that we're moving into a new month. They have not said what the PlayStation Plus games are for September, but there is rumors that Overcooked, All You Can Eat, Hitman 2, and Predator Hunting Grounds will be our games for September. Take that with a grain of salt. I have no idea if that's true or not. If it is, let me know in the comments what you think. Hopefully we find out soon, and when we do, we will let you know, but I'm sure you guys will know already. And our game of the month, make sure to play it if you haven't already, is Cyberpunk 2077. We've played it all month. I've beaten it, and we'll be discussing it Monday or Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday will be when Game of the Month comes out, so make sure to come back for that. We'll be having a very in-depth discussion, trying to prioritize the game itself and not the overall conversation of the bugs. But of course, we will be talking about that as well because there's been a lot of updates. And where's it at now? We're going to talk about it. So make sure to come back for that, and we will be discussing that. So make sure to join us in that conversation. Now, if you enjoy this episode and the other episodes that we do here, you can support us by hitting the like button, subscribing if you're brand new, commenting. We love the comments, and sharing this video around. We'd really appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to talk to us anytime, all time, you can check out our Discord link down below. And we are on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us in audio form. And we have a Patreon if you'd like to support this channel more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you're brand new. All right, let's jump into Plus Club. What's going on, guys, and welcome to August's episode of Plus Club, the show where we play the games offered on PlayStation Plus throughout the month, and at the end of the month, we talk about them, which we're doing today. My name's Seth, and joining me, of course, to my left, to your right, is my brother, Chevy. Chevy, we stayed up till like 5 or 6 in the morning playing one of the Plus games. I feel like we're all pretty tired, but how you doing? You ready to have this conversation?
Yeah, I'm awake enough. I don't know how sharp I'll be, but I had enough time to actually get moving. I'm pretty used to kind of just getting up and starting my day, though. So
Yeah, you are pretty good about that. You're pretty good about having minimal sleep, which concerns me as your brother. So I feel like you should not be good at that.
yeah, probably not.
I feel like it's not good for you. And then, of course, up in the box above me, you guys see him. He's got a cool background that kind of fits my background now. We got Chris joining us in the box. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing all right. I'm pretty tired. I'm definitely one of those slower to get up people. Kind of meander through my day.
This whole like audio check
I'm
process,
here.
just looking at you, just screams to me like, "Oh God, why?" Because you were also up late with us early. We were up early
Very
today.
late. Yeah,
So
yeah. It's been a tiring week for sure.
oh yeah, for sure. All right, well, we got games to talk about. I'm very excited to have this conversation with you guys. But before we talk about the games that we played, which is Hunter's Arena Legends, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, and Tennis World Tour 2, we don't know the games for PlayStation Plus. I said in the intro, so you guys already know this, but it is being rumored that Overcooked All You Can Eat, Hitman 2, which I thought we already got, and Predator Hunting Grounds are going to be our games for September. Now, take that with a grain of salt, but what do we think about those games? Do you think it sounds legit? And do you want to play any of those?
Well, the other thing too that's kind of interesting about the rumor thing is sometimes that'll be for other countries as well. So
That's what I kind of feel like with the Hitman 2, because I swear we got
I
that.
thought we had it too. Yeah.
But maybe it's just Hitman.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but so regardless of that, Overcooked. We played the first one, and so I have a bit of an expectation there. It'll probably be fun for like a small play session. That's not the type of game I think I could sit and play for a long period of time.
The first one we played it, and check that episode, fucking, it was a while ago. But that shit straight triggered me, dude. The premise sounds awesome. Playing it, I fucking am not having fun because I'm so fucking stressed out. Which is weird for me. I play best when I'm stressed out. I like that shit. But that game, I'm like, dude, this is real life. This is how you run a kitchen. I feel this is why all chefs and fucking cooks and line cooks smoke.
Well, yeah, for sure.
It's because this shit is stressful.
Hitman 2 I'm curious about as well, though I'm not necessarily fond of those games. I do appreciate the quality of them. And then I don't know the other one.
Predator Hunting Grounds. It came out, it was made by the same guys who made the Friday the 13th game that got fucked by the creator.
Didn't that just come out then?
Yeah. But I feel like it needs to come out for free because when I played the beta, it was a cool idea. It didn't play well. Hopefully they've done some improvements. But games like that release early and taper off, I feel like benefit from going out on PlayStation Plus free to play because then they can maybe draw people in who might not have played it.
It's a tough market too because everyone plays DVD.
Yeah.
So, like, I still see people stream Death by Daylight, right?
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight, yeah.
I mean, there's Death by Daylight too, for sure. It happens. Most matches.
So, yeah, it's a tough market to get into. But yeah, so I that is good exposure.
Well, the whole fantasy of being either the predator hunting people down or being like the hardened fucking Marines getting hunted but trying to fight back. It's a cool premise, but the game was kind of janky, and it's like the way it played, which is the biggest turnoff for me. The aiming felt really sluggish when I played it, but I played on console, so but I would be playing it on console if this is the fact. So, Chris, any thoughts on these games?
These mostly sound like games that are going to be like kind of one-off sessions for me, to be honest. I mean, Hitman 2 has got a longer playtime, but I'm not super I'm not super into the series. And then the other ones are just multiplayer games. Like, so I'm only going to play them when everybody else is playing now. I don't have any desire to dive too deep in them on my own. So
yeah, I feel like we could like all three just knock out Overcooked and Predator in one fucking day. And if they're really good, continue to play them. But if they're not really good, be done with it. But Hitman 2 is like a kind of sit down and invest at least a couple hours into one mission because they're fucking so intricate. So yeah, hopefully if these are the games, not hopefully, but if these are the games, at least it'd be an easy month. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hitman, so I mean, I'm pretty sure I have Hitman 2, but I'd be down to play it again. Predator Hunting Grounds, I would like to try it again, so might be cool, but yeah, I haven't been able to pull the trigger on it because I played the beta, and like I said, I thought the premise was cool, but gameplay just was not there, and I didn't want to invest in that. And then Overcooked, like I said, if you guys want my hair to fall out, fucking, we can play that. If you guys want to age me, I feel like I'm aging pretty well, but by the end of next month, fucking, if I'm playing that, I'm gonna have like wrinkles and fucking no hair, and my beard's gonna be gray, fully.
I got half of one. It's just all down here.
Yeah, yours is happening over time though. Mine's just gonna happen over a month. There's gonna be like,
so you're gonna be president for a month?
like why? What's fucking exactly like why Chevy and Seth's fucking grandpa here? Who the fuck's that guy? Why does he talk just like Seth? So yeah, we'll see if those are the games. Those could not be the games at all. We're gonna find out soon, I'm sure, because we're at the end of the month. So yeah, unless you guys have anything else to say, we should move into this conversation where we played 3 games, which are again our Hunters Arena Legends, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, and Tennis World Tour 2. I feel like we should start with Tennis World Tour 2. So if you get a chance to play Tennis World Tour 2, the most generic name ever, could just be called Tennis 2. It's a game about tennis. You play as, and forgive me if you're a tennis fan, I don't know shit about it. I don't know shit about the people who play tennis. I'm sure they're all great. You play as famous tennis players playing tennis on tennis fields, or what are they called? Courts. Tennis courts.
Yeah.
I'm just triggering people like, you fucking moron. I love tennis, in which you hit a ball across a net with tennis rackets, and if you're me, get your ass kicked by the AI.
A scoring system of 5s and terminology like love.
Yep. We all played it. And let's start with Chevy. What were your impressions of Tennis World Tour 2?
It's going to be really, really easy.
It's fine. We can just fly through this topic.
It was tennis. Like, there was not like a whole lot to expect here. And it was literally what I expected it to be. It falls into a couple same problems I have with most sports games, which is I don't really like the card deck systems they put in these games to give a reason for you to spend money. And then artificially buffing your character through power-ups and stuff like that. It's really weird to me. It looks all right. It plays okay, though I do feel the controls are a little unresponsive at times, it feels like.
Yep.
Maybe I'm just dumb when it comes to this game, but I felt a lot of times moves or you know hits or strikes or whatever the fucking term is for the sport weren't happening when I was hitting the button. It was almost like they were delayed, and maybe they were. I don't know.
Yeah, the whole game feels like it's just like just some slight input lag, but that
Yeah.
could be because the game is not like a Mario Tennis game where it's more arcadey and fun,
Right.
and it's more trying to be like a sim.
No, and I definitely got that vibe off it. I definitely wasn't like trying to spam the button or anything. I was like
Yeah.
trying to time my swings.
No, I feel the same way. What you're saying, it's
Yeah.
just I think that's what they're going for, and I think either we just suck or the
I
game
definitely
or
sucked.
the game is sluggish.
I had a hard enough time even like getting any points, let alone winning a match. So
I didn't win a match.
I did not either. So I only played a few matches, and I feel like the game didn't really have anything to show me outside of just playing the game itself. So maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I was unfair about it, but I feel like the game was pretty simple. So
It's tennis, dude.
yeah,
Like you play by the tennis rules, and that's the game. That's all
yeah.
it's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, I don't know anything about tennis to really go into deep things about it. So the game itself was very basic. It had the typical tropes sports games have, which is packs of cards or whatever to get either characters, equipment, or perks. In this case, it was buffs, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I'll jump in next because this is gonna be really brief, and I'm dying to know Chris's opinions on this. So we're gonna save him till last because I'm gonna be extra good. I'll give him time to wake up and warm up. Um, so it's a tennis game. It's literally called Tennis World Tour 2. It's just straight up like fucking you. If you're into tennis, you probably played this game. If you're not, you probably didn't fucking heard of this game like me. I didn't know this game existed, and I saw it. I'm like, oh, I recognize that dude. I've seen him before, but I don't know his name. So it's got some of the big tennis guys out there, but I don't know who they are, whatever. So it's probably a big deal for people who are into tennis. But outside of that, it's tennis. You play tennis as these guys. It's got a big roster of people I don't know. I had like two people locked, so they must be extra fucking cool. Maybe they're like legendary tennis players. I don't know. There was a guy you're seeing in the footage right now who just looked like a complete fucking dork. Maybe in real life he's awesome, but he had like a backwards hat on. Just looks like a little. He looked like he was like a 12-year-old kid. He's always like giving me this little smirk when he's just beating me. I went against him and he was just destroying me every time. Like it showed like a shot of his face, he's just smiling and shit with his little backwards hat. I'm like, fuck. Hate that guy. Anyway, I'm sure he's great. And yeah, I played a couple matches, more than a couple, but still, and I just felt instantly fatigued, and not because the game necessarily, even though, like I said before, there's a sluggishness to the game that I don't think feels good. Because I've played tennis games in the past, more so arcade games, but I'll get into that later. But I played enough, but I started feeling fatigued as I played it because first off, tennis isn't that interesting to me, but also the gameplay, the way it plays, didn't feel that great. But also the game doesn't offer much in terms of like what would keep me invested in a game. I really, and I don't want to jump into recommendations already, but I really feel like this is a hyper focused game, obviously, and so it doesn't allow it's not inviting really to people who are not into this specifically. Whereas if I played like Mario Tennis, it's inviting to everybody. It's just a straight fun game, and this game doesn't need to be that. But I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from when it comes to how I'm looking at this game. Yeah, so a bunch of characters. The graphics are decent. They're not bad. They're not amazing, but they're clean. They look realistic, so they did a good job there. The game's controls are actually pretty straightforward, which I appreciated. I did the tutorial just like I was like maybe there's some secret tennis shit I don't know about. No, it's pretty straightforward. The system they use to strike the ball, I guess, I don't like the way it feels. There's a system that you can go either too early or too late on your swing. Maybe that's like, I mean, I guess that would be a thing in real life, but as a gameplay element, I feel like there maybe could be a better way to do it. I don't know. I don't develop games, so I'm not giving anyone any suggestions on how to do that. But if someone figured it out, let me know. I'd be willing to try that out. But the big thing, and I know they're going for realism because in real life, when you move, you don't move instantly. You don't press left and run instantly there. You have to turn and move your legs to move. They're going for that feel in this game, but it does feel just slightly unresponsive, just slightly. It's not too bad, but it just feels kind of clunky when you're moving around, you're swinging, and with that constant feeling of clunkiness, that sluggishness, it just didn't give me an experience that I thought was fun as a game. I almost just wanted to watch like two NPCs fight each other just to watch tennis, I guess. But I was like, I gotta play this game, so I did. I forgot what it's called when you serve the ball. That system is also kind of like just whatever. And yeah, other than that, I really don't know what else to add. There's a bunch of arenas or places to play tennis, and they all are circular areas where people can sit with different color skies and different color grounds, and that's about it. So overall, this game was tennis with some sluggishness, in my opinion. Maybe people were like, I play tennis, bro. It is sluggish. That's cool. I don't know. I know how to hit a ball, but that's about it. And yeah, I mean, it was fucking tennis. I mean, that's all I got to say on it, really. Which kind of sucks. I wish I could be like really passionate about something negative or positive, but it is what it is. Chris.
Going into this game, I was really hoping for something along the lines of an old Dreamcast game called Virtua Tennis.
Oh yeah,
Because I played the shit out of that game as a kid. It was really weird. I'm not a big tennis person. I'm not a big sports person.
it was really weird. It was a weird time in my life.
It was my weird time in my life, man. It was weird. Um, but this, hopping into this, the first thing I did was, of course, see if I could make my own character because I'm all about customization. And you can make your own character. Your choices are, I wouldn't say limited, but they are not extensive. They are very just kind of here's a couple of sets, here's a couple of facial features. You can have like up to like 9 different sets. So there's not too much emphasis on character customization as far as like physical appearance goes. But then when you get into like your lob and your serve and your idle animation, your backswing, there's like an animation for every tennis player in the game, and like 90% of them are identical. So it's like, why did you spend so much time adding all these different backswings when only 2 of them look different? And I get again, it's probably for, like you said, those diehard tennis fans who know like the slight nuance differences between everybody's swing and serve and all that stuff, and that's fine for them. But for me, it just felt like there was no real options to it. And then I didn't play too many matches because I focused too much on playing the career mode of the game, and trying to get my own character kind of leveled up. Because
I'm so glad you made a character because I forgot I even had that, and I'm so glad you played the campaign mode because I didn't play that. I just want to see how it played. So
it it it's definitely like a sim game because there's like matches you can do charity events, you can do like training missions, you can do, I think there's a publicity as well. But they all take like time of your day to do, and it just, all I could ever do was training, because attempting the matches was like my character had like very minimal stats, and these are pro players you're going against half the time, so like they're just stomping you. Uh but the controls, and it's kind of like beating a dead horse at this point, but the controls are awkward to say the least. The same button, the left stick, is used to move your character, but it's also used to aim where you're hitting the ball on the court.
yeah, I forgot about that. I
Um,
hated that.
and it's so like it's a weird like combination of like moving to the spot where you think the ball is going to be, stopping, and then pressing a direction again while you're swinging to aim where your ball is going to go.
Hmm.
And it ends up being just really clunky feeling, and in combination with the timing system of either you're holding down the button to do power attacks or power swings, that again, if you let go at the wrong time, they don't go as well, or just normal like swinging, so you have to press like the direction and swing and let go of both at the same time really quickly. It's just a weird system. And like you said, they were trying to go for realism, but it just doesn't convey well in the way they had it schematically for the controller. It's just
Yeah, I'm glad. Did you play it like recently?
I played the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad like you just refreshed my brain because I played it. This was one of those games at the beginning of the month. I'm like, I'm gonna knock this out right fucking now.
Same.
And sometimes it doesn't help me because at the end of the month I kind of forget some of the shit that happened. But I remember like the experience, but the details. And yeah, the fucking aiming and moving at the same time is really stupid feeling. It's kind of hard. I'm sure if you play enough, you just get used to it. But I don't know. I could imagine a game where the left stick is movement, right stick is aim, and then like use the triggers or something to hit the ball or the fuck. But yeah, it did not feel good. I had a hard time aiming as well as I wanted to, specifically when I was trying to hit the ball left or right further down the court, but not hit it out of the court, which happened often. I would fucking knock it out, and the guy would just look at me like, "What the fuck?" Like over and over again. I'm like, "I'm sorry, dude. I feel like tennis in real life would be easier than fucking this goddamn moving and aiming system that they got going on here." And maybe in the controls you can change it. I didn't invest enough time in the game to know that. So if somebody knows that, let me know in the comments. It's always good to know, something I'm complaining about. It was in the game and I just didn't see it. So that's on me. It'd be an error on my part. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot about that. When I'm saying like the game feels clunky, movement, mechanics, stuff like that, but then also merging mechanics into one thing that just does not feel good as a video game. Fuck tennis as a game. I don't like the way it feels.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I spent many hours playing virtual tennis as a kid. So like, I'm not shy to playing a tennis game. I enjoyed virtual tennis immensely, and this just does not control well. That's the whole. That's what it all comes down to. Graphically, it's okay, but the controls just make it a nightmare to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Anything else? Jump into recommendations. I'm gonna make it real easy. If you like tennis and you want to play video games about tennis, play this. Unless this is a bad tennis game, I don't know. I don't know I don't know the genre of tennis games. And then I would say if you've played like Mario Tennis and you want something a little more clunky and realistic, maybe you want to up your game from that. Check this out. If you like net sports games, possibly check this out. Other than that, I don't know who else to recommend this to. I can't just say sports because there's a varied field of different kinds of things that you do with balls. So
Games with career and character building. So,
if you want to play tennis, but yeah,
yeah.
Chris, anything you want to add to that?
Nope. There's nothing I can add to that, to be honest.
All right. Well, let's jump into grades. I'm going to go first. I wanted to give this a C because it just works. It's a tennis game, but I'm going to give it a C minus because I don't like the control scheme. I don't like the way it plays. Other than that, I don't think there's anything wrong with this game outside of the way it plays. Everything seems to be fucking in order. It's a tennis game. It looks fine. It's got all the people you want to play as, but I just could not get into it because I did not like the way the game played. But if you play enough, I'm sure you would get used to that system. So I don't want to go too harsh on it. I'm not going to give it a D. That'd be unfair in my opinion. So C minus, and it's a strong C minus. It's almost a C, but it's just that I could not get invested in the game because of the gameplay. Let's go with Chris.
I'm gonna just copy everything you just said as a C minus for me, just because, like you said, it plays. It's a functioning game, so it passes, but the controls are just horrendous. So C minus.
Chevy.
It'll be pretty similar. So C minus as well, but I'm going to throw in the card system. I don't think benefits the game at all. I think the game would actually be better without it. So,
I don't even remember I don't even remember the card system.
it's just the typical thing that all sports games have, where you buy a deck of cards and that gives you things, and the reason they have that in there is so that you might be tempted to buy real money, decks of cards to try to get like advantages essentially. And
Cash, baby.
The systems are garbage. So
Bought fucking tennis from us, bro. Give us more money.
garbage.
Tennis definitely needs more money, man. They're just struggling out there.
Sports don't need any more money.
Sports, dude. People play sports. They don't make enough. They don't make enough money.
They're fucking crying with their Benjis against their eyes.
Yeah, they're soaking up the tears with the dollars. So all C minuses. I mean, I think it's fair. So, and honestly, my grade probably would have been a little higher. Like if I had an affinity for tennis, I'd probably be in the B area, give it a B minus because the controls could have been better. But the game's tennis, and I like tennis, but that's not the case here. So,
As a game, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So let us know in the comments what you guys think about Tennis World Tour 2. Did you play it? Did you not play it? If you played it, more specifically, I want to hear from everybody, but if you're like a tennis fan and you play games in the genre, did this meet your expectations? Is this standard? Is this what feels good to you? Or is this like not a good tennis game? Really, we're in the dark here when it comes to this. None of us really play tennis games. So let us know your professional opinion on this, but of course your opinion in general on this game, and if you didn't play, why didn't you play it? Maybe you're like, I'm not fucking playing tennis. Let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. Second game we played this month was Hunter's Arena Legends, a game that also has a pretty generic name that I to this day can't remember the fuck. I was playing it the other night and I didn't know what the game was called. I was like, what's this game called while we're playing it? Hunter's Arena Legends, which sounds like a mobile game. I gotta stop talking about that name. Is a game. It's a battle royale. It's a melee centric battle royale where you pick one of many characters that are very martial artsy, very wuxia esque. Where you start, interestingly enough, for anybody who's familiar with all the battle royales right now, you start on a platform in the center of a map. The platform moves to different parts of the map per round, and you just kind of hang out with like a gate up, and then the gate releases and you jump off the platform and just kind of fly onto the map. After that, it's pretty typical fare when it comes to battle royales. You try to be the last team or last person alive to win. You're up against other people on that map, and you run around with swords. You have abilities. You use L1 and hit like square, triangle, circle, or X or cross, whatever you want to call that. And you do your abilities. Every character ranges from DPS to tank and everything in between. And yeah, we all played it. And let's start with Chris first. What was your impressions of Hunter's Arena Legends?
I think, hold on, as well, in the description of the game as well, it also has a MOBA like leveling system for your character as well, while killing trash mobs and stuff like that to level. So
Yeah, it does have that. There's a couple other ones out there like that, but yeah, I skipped that. Yeah, there's like bosses on the field and shit you can kill, and you level up stuff like that. Very much like a MOBA. Chris, impressions.
So this game, in theory, in practice, sounds like it would be some kind of up my alley. I'm not big into battle arenas, but I really do like wushu movies like a lot, and Eastern lore and things like that. I'm really into that shit. So looking at these characters, I'm like, oh, I kind of know who that character is supposed to be. I think I know who that character is supposed to be. There's a couple of characters like based off mythical characters, stuff like that's really cool. But playing this game graphically, I thought I was playing on the PlayStation 2 again. The textures are very low res, and when you walk up to like the landscaping, you think, okay, it's from a distance. It's because there's so many players. As you get closer, it's gonna res up. It does not at all. Like it's just rough textures. Character models they felt very cookie cutter when looking at the female characters. They're all very thin waisted and lithe and heavy chested, and very scantily clad.
Scantily clad.
And very scantily clad.
These girls are basically naked.
Pretty much. But at the same time, their character models and their clothing are all, from what I could gather, like one piece. Like they're not individually designed. They're not individual wireframes. So like when the characters crouch, like their outfits kind of crouch with them. They're not very well rendered. And it's kind of distracting at times. Not too much because the chaos of a ballerina, you don't really focus on that too much. But outside of that, the controls of the game are very weird to me. It's kind of got like a combo system where you have square for light attacks or weapon attacks, and then triangle is what they call martial art attacks, which are kind of like heavier breaking attacks. And then your special abilities, like you said, where you press L1 and press the corresponding buttons to do different abilities. But pressing the L1 and trying to get your abilities out is very clunky. They're very delayed, and they kind of wait for your character to stand still before you can really execute them, it feels like.
Yeah.
And it doesn't lend well to a combo system that you would expect for like a melee-centric game.
It has a janky flow to it, and the controls are very like over encumbered. Like there's so much going on that I feel like you could have mapped better onto a controller. It feels sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Dynasty Warriors has a better control scheme than this game does, and Dynasty Warriors is just like a generic beat 'em up at this point.
Hmm.
Um, it just it was really disappointing because I was hoping for like a cool Eastern characters that I would recognize and they'd play well, and it just kind of is a flop, to be honest. And it's very much there to get your money. Like that's the
Oh,
goal of the game.
100%. That was something when we played last night. I was like, I jokingly was saying like this game like looks a certain way, and you're like, yeah, it looks like it's fucking meant to get your money. Like fucking, because it kind of looks like a mobile game. It looks like something that you play on a phone. And I was like, there's probably just like this community's probably like a bunch of 12-year-olds trying to get their fucking mom's credit card.
Some of the emotes being done to my lowly character would agree with you.
Yeah. This game is after a certain demographic, and I was actually kind of surprised, not to sound insulting, I guess, to the game. I was surprised PlayStation released this as a one of their games. I feel like this should have been a free to play game already. So the idea that
Oh,
they
for
gave this
sure.
out already, or they gave this out as like it's a premium game, blows my mind because it feels and looks like a free to play game. So kind of felt cheap getting it from PlayStation.
It definitely felt very cheap, and I questioned why they put it on as well. And I did look into the shop to see like what kind of things they offered for characters, and like the emotes that they have for your characters are universal for the most part, like the dance emotes and things like that.
Okay.
But I'm really curious as about certain things about the dance emotes because they play music when you look at them, and they I don't know if those are copyrighted music or not because there's the very first one that you have to look at is that if you ever browse YouTube a lot, there's that cliche like King's Quest, like busty ladies kind of bouncing, dancing back and forth with their hands on their head and their hips shaking dance, and it plays the music from that. And I was
Hmm.
like, that doesn't seem like you should have access to that unless it's the same company, which would make a lot of sense
So
to me.
it's just meme shit. It's fucking trying to get people on TikTok to recognize dances they know and purchase the emotes.
Mm.
It's
So
interesting.
that
It's not even interesting. That's not fucking surprising at all.
yeah, it's that's where I was like, this is definitely a money grab thing because they're just using like you said, memes and like the music from them. I was just very confused as how they got access to the music. So
Well, and even the game itself. So I think the best looking thing, and I don't think it's in that great, is the character models. It seems like they put the most work into those character models. But the world, the animations, and the way you traverse things sometimes feels underdeveloped. So like there's zip lines you can run across, and when you press the button, your character goes from standing on the ground to just on the zip line, and you start running, and then when you press the button to get off the zip line, you're just on the ground again. There's no animation to get on there. They didn't make it. So and there's a lot of little things in this game that's like that. The movement feels weird. The moving or the running, you have to press a button and it locks running on. Like you're pressing fucking caps lock or something, and then like you just start running, and then like you have to press it again to stop running, and it's fucking weird. I'll get into it once I start going off about it. But
it's just yeah, I was very disappointed and very confused as to why PlayStation put this on their
well,
games
and
for
two
this
two
month.
things too to that is like the premise of a melee battle royale is cool, and another one just came out this month called Naraka Blade Point. They came out at the same time, and I've played Blade Point. I was actually gifted to it by somebody in the community. Thank you for that. And it's high quality. The animations are good. It's a premium game you have to buy. Apparently, this game is too because they gave it on PlayStation Plus. Otherwise, if it's like free to play next month, I'm gonna be pissed. And so, like in direct competition to that game, like one game is absolutely better than the other one by far. So it's kind of crazy that they both came out at the same time, and one feels like a game that was developed quickly to get money from kids, and the other one feels like a game. So yeah, it's weird. Anything else, Chris?
No, no.
What'd you think of the gameplay? We played together. You, me, and Chevy. They're seeing the footage right now. Did you get any enjoyment out of that? Did you, as a battle royale, collecting different tiers of gear, which is standard? The way they have like HP and like attack up potions all over the fucking map. The NPCs that are on the map, that's kind of like a MOBA, which all my complaints for this game that I'll get into in a little bit aside, I did like that there's things to kill on the map outside of people. What any thoughts on that?
It felt very much like a cluttered mess, to be honest. Having to run around kill things to keep your level up, because if you don't, someone's gonna gank you and obliterate you because their level's higher.
Yeah.
It just felt very chaotic and all over the place.
Group combat felt fucking insane, especially because the lock-on system's not good. It's clunky feeling. And if you don't use it, your character will attack anybody who's near them. So like I was trying to fight people and there's a guy who's almost dead and then my guy starts attacking someone else. I was like, fuck. And I tried to lock into the guy and it wasn't doing it. So yeah, like group battles feels really fucking clunky. I also agree with you saying it kind of feels like a mess in the sense that like the way they've positioned all the items and things to do on the map feels the same as when you played like free to play, I don't know, Korean MMOs from like 2008 or some shit, and like there's just flat fields with a shitload of an enemy type all over the fucking place, and you have a quest like go kill 20 of those, and like they put an abundance on the field because they don't want them to run out. They're always spawning, and it's like, okay, I get it, like I can just go to the mission, be done with it, but it feels just like fucking sloppy. There's like, okay, just dump a bunch of fucking enemy types here. There's nothing interesting here, nothing cool. The map feels similar to that. There's just like a bunch of random shit all over the map in every direction. You look like 2 inches over here and there's something over there or something, and you're spending so much time just grabbing fucking every little piece of candy you find that it makes it real good for like an ambush to happen or a random NPC that are cluttered all over the fucking place to just saunter over and start fucking swinging at you. And yeah, it does feel like a cluttered mess. I agree with that. So I'll just jump into my impressions unless you have more to say.
No, no.
Just because after you talking about it, I'm just dying to hop in. So first and foremost, the name's generic. It sounds like a mobile game. The game also kind of looks like it's a mobile game. It looks like it's meant for mobile. If this is on mobile, I'd actually be a little more accepting of it because the teleporting and the weird clunkiness of the game would just feel more at home on a smaller screen. I can notice it less, blah, blah, blah. But I'm playing on a 4K TV, big screen, playing on my PS5, and I'm just looking at all the things that I don't like about this game. Positives to the game are there's a varied roster of characters. They'll have different moves. That's cool. Every character played felt completely different. There's some imagination to it, but not animation, imagination that I'm particularly fond of. But there is different types of characters. There's a panda dude. There's an orc. There's a lot of like martial arts types. A lot of weapon variances, and there's tanks and stuff like that. So it's cool that you can find a play style that's going to be something you're more into. The map is like medium size. It's not big at all, but it's not too small, which I think works well in a game where you're not using guns. Makes sense, and I do like the idea of it pretty much does what Scavengers does as well, and Scavengers is way better than this, where there is a PvE element to the PvP where you can kill things to level up and gear up before you get into fights. I did notice though that because the map isn't big, there's not a good balance to, like in Scavengers the map's gigantic, and so you're running into NPCs way more than you're running into people. But when you're running into people, it's like an event. It's like this fucking firefight. It's really cool. In this, it feels like I'm like doing my thing and I can just hear to my right over the other side of the wall, there's just other people doing what we're doing. And the whole time I'm just like, I think there's people over here. And like, they're probably hearing the same thing. Where it's like, I guess we got to fight. We just got here, but fucking there's not enough room to really get out and start gearing up and stuff. Like you're going to run into people very quickly. And I feel like they can maybe make the map a little bigger to give you some time in between fights. Because I really feel like you're running into fucking people a lot. It's constantly happening, and maybe for somebody who wants to get into the action quickly in a battle royale, that's good for you. But in a game where you need to have a little bit of time to gear up, fight these fucking world bosses to get XP from them, and find all the little things all over the fucking ground. I feel like the pacing should just be a little slower in how often you run into people. Also, you start on a middle platform with everybody else, so people see where you go. There's no dropping out across a map like you do in a battle royale, which I'm glad they tried something different. If you're gonna make a battle royale, you got to try something different. But I don't like it because you'll often land right next to people, way more than even in a normal battle royale, where you have a choice to not drop when someone else dropped. In this, everyone's just kind of jumping off this platform. You don't go very far from it either. And you don't have much control on where you go after you leap. You kind of can guide it, but not very much. The map is generic and not interesting at all. It's pretty basic. It's like grassy, hilly areas, beaches, and like temples. Just cluttered with NPCs everywhere and items to pick up. Combat could be cool, except for it feels kind of clunky. The lock-on system's not good. The controller layout for the buttons is way too fucking all over the place. I was constantly, and again, like I said with the tennis game, if you become familiar with the game, you get used to it. But I didn't want to get used to this layout. It's all over the fucking place. Like I said, like L1, you hold L1 to do like all your moves, and then to ping, you have to hold L1 and press up on the D-pad. I don't like that. Other games have done pinging way fucking better. One of the triggers, I think R2 is to run, which I don't like, and then another one is to block. I think that's R1 is block. And then one of the other triggers does something. I forgot what the fuck it does. Dodging's weird. It doesn't feel like you're moving very far. And yeah, overall, the combat doesn't feel good. You can sneak around in bushes too, which I think is interesting. As soon as you walk in a bush, you sit still, you crouch, and then you just walk through the bush and you're invisible for a while. So I guess you can ambush people, but it doesn't feel viable, and no one ever really did it to us. So no one really showed me the way, didn't show me something that I'm like, oh fuck, I should probably get good at that. Everybody's just kind of running around, swinging at each other, and then when they're almost dead, they just run from you, or you run from them, and it's just like a lot of like chasing people around. And yeah, gear is tiered like you'd expect in a battle royale. It's not really exciting though. You don't really find like weapons or anything like that, so you're just kind of making sure you're armored up, essentially. And yeah, well, I mean, really, what else is there to add? The characters, though varied, are very generic. I mean, they're exactly what you'd expect from like any free to play or mobile game. I mean, this game could be Raid Shadow Legends for all I fucking know. Someone told me that, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense because I never played that game. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next month or so, all your favorite YouTubers will be advertising this game made by the CCP to get your information. Um, Other than that, yeah, it feels underdeveloped, but not in the way of like development hell, but more so that they didn't care enough. They're just getting a game out there to monetize a game to kids who like half naked girls and buff dudes with swords that hit each other. It really does just feel like a cash grab. The game feels like it was made quickly to make as much money as you can make off of the battle royale genre while it's still going. That's my impressions. Chevy.
Um, I'm just gonna try to keep it kind of short. It feels like an undercooked game that is lacking just polish everywhere. Like the game's literally just rough around the edges, but everywhere. My biggest complaint, outside of just the not, good feeling controls of the game, is that in combat it gets so cluttered, and the lock-on system is really just almost not noticeable.
Yeah, I hate it.
That you can't really discern what you're doing if there's a group of people fighting. It just turns into I hope I live, or you have to retreat and like kind of like figure out what the hell's going on.
Or you're just desperately trying to hit the dude who's almost dead, but there's just a crowd of people everywhere swinging. You're trying to lock onto them. You're trying to hit them without the lock on, and it's just like you hit them once, and you hit someone else. Now they're hitting you, and it's just like Jesus Christ, I have like no control over this fucking fight.
Yeah. And also them just kind of throwing in a bunch of little elements of different types of games and then making it a battle royal. It just, I don't know, it doesn't feel focused at all. It literally just feels like a hodgepodge of bullshit. Like you took your cup to the soda machine and you just started hitting every one of them.
That is this game in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's sloppy, like at best. So I feel bad for anyone who has purchased this game. Unless you like it, that's up to you. I can't tell you what games to like, but I would not give this game another cent. And I didn't give it any. So
Yeah, I if you do play this game and you like it, that's cool for sure.
100%.
And if you bought the game, that's cool. I really feel like this game should be or will be free to play, very soon. But if it's not already, I would recommend people not give this game money, because it does feel like it was made just for that. And you could argue every game that has monetization's meant for that, but like Apex Legends is a completely different caliber of game. That game's trying to be fun. It's trying to create ideas and trying to add something to the
that's the
genre.
reason it's still popular.
This game is not trying to add anything to the genre. This game is trying to get you to play it enough that you'll start feeling comfortable to spend money. That's it. And I don't even think, like, for most adults, I really think this game's geared for kids. And I don't mean that as an insult. Like, well, this game's for kids, bro. I literally think it's like it's just generic enough that has every little thing that a kid would identify. If you take a kid into a store, a Toys R Us or a dollar store, and he sees a guy holding a gun, doesn't matter if it's a high premium action figure or a low end action figure, he's still gonna be like, I want that. I want that. That's what this game feels like. It's just like, oh, it's a guy with the sword. I like that. I'm gonna swing the sword.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
I killed that guy. I'm winning. Or, oh, I got killed. Blah blah blah. I better spend money.
and honestly, I've played better mobile games that were they're mobile games, so they have their predatory nature to them, and they're still better games. So
100%. I agree. I think games that are invented to get money from you, there's a lot of them out there that are better than this.
yeah,
This really feels like a cheap attempt, and it's gonna work.
well, it already has.
Yeah.
They gave it to people. So
Yep. That's why I'd say, like, yeah, I don't know if I'd support it, but I don't know if they've done anything wrong. It just seems very blatant in what it's doing.
yeah, it's honestly, it seems like a game that they're gonna put out there, and if it bites, they might like put it into maintenance mode. But I feel like they're just gonna let it die. I don't think they care.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if this game, they're gonna make the money they need to make off of it, and then when it's done, they'll probably sell it off to a third party fucking company that's gonna remake it into a free play game or something.
Yeah, I mean,
It does feel like a temporary, just quick buck game and be done with
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Because you can tell with the development, it's like half-assed. So, anything else?
No.
Show me the recommendations. I'm gonna keep it real easy. It's really hard for me to even recommend it to people, but if you are looking for a new battle royale and you've played them all, check it out. Hopefully, you got it for free on PlayStation Plus. I would not recommend you pay money for this. If you like a mobile style game experience on your PS4 or PS5, check it out. If you don't think there's enough like melee centric battle royales, it is one of the only ones out there. So it's not a good example, but play Naraka Blade Point, or check this out. I mean, it's one of your only options. Other than that, it's really hard for me to recommend this game because I kind of see through it. So, you make anything?
I mean, I guess if you like MOBA features sprinkled into your games,
Yeah, play this or Scavenger. Scavenger's way better. Play it, but you're shooting in that. There's melee weapons though. Chris, anything?
If That's a big if. That's a very niche. If you want or like generic knockoff wushu characters, you would like
Scantily clad ladies. We're living in a time where that's kind of rare. Maybe you want to relive the 2004 days. Orcs. You want to play as an orc in a game? How many battle royales have orcs? You can play as a panda here. A humanoid panda that runs on all fours, but as like the way a human would. It's really weird. It's really hard to watch. It's difficult. I graded second last time, so I'll grade first this time. Unless you guys have more recommendations. No, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it a D plus. That's me being generous. I was gonna give it a D, but yeah, I mean, it's functioning. It's. I feel like you could maybe have fun with this under the right circumstances with friends if you can overlook a lot of its problems. But I don't think it's passing. I really think it was underdeveloped on purpose to flip to somebody else when they're done with it. So, but yeah, there's a couple cool ideas there, but they're not executed well. So D plus. Let's go with Chevy.
I'm gonna give it a D minus. I don't think it succeeds in any aspect other than allowing you to pay for stuff.
They're real good at getting that credit card information.
I just yeah, I can't think of a single quality of the game that I enjoyed or could give it credit for. So but it plays. So borderline fails, D minus.
Harsh. Chris.
I'm actually also going to give it a D minus. You know the game is going to be bad when you boot up the game and the start menu has no music, no animation, no nothing. It just kind of sits there like a screensaver.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. As soon as the game started, I was like, I played the tutorial. I was like, is this a joke? What is this?
It's bare minimums. It's just enough to get the game out there to kind of function to get people to play it because it plays. Just it's a pile of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So 2 D minuses and a D plus. I feel like I was very generous on that game. I get it though. I just there's a couple things there I think were cool ideas, but they didn't do them well. Anything else? Mm-mm. All right, let us know in the comments. Did you guys play, what's it called? Hunters something? Hunters something Legends.
Arena Legend.
Yeah. Did you play that? I already forgot that. Holy shit, that's so bad. Did you play it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree with where we're coming from, or do you see some merit in it? Maybe you are playing and enjoying it. What do you like about it? We don't have to argue about that. Just let me know what you're liking about it. I am curious about that. I want to know. Do you like the way it plays? Do you like the way it controls? Who's your favorite character? If you do have one, I'd ask us, but I don't have a favorite character. I don't like any of them.
You just don't get it, man.
Yeah, possibly. And have you spent money on this? And do you want to share how much you've spent on it? I'm curious about that as well. Let us know everything you think about in the comments below. And the last game we played this month is Plants vs. the other games, Hunters Arena Legends. The last game we played this month is Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, which is another of the 3D games made in the Plants vs. Zombies universe that was originally a tower defense game, now a shooter, in which you can play as either plants or zombies in PvE or PvP. There is a central hub where there's a lot to do, honestly. It's kind of weird. And then different zones where you go into PvE and you do up to 4-player co-op missions, or you can go online against other people and do battlefield style, take the point game modes, deathmatch, stuff like that. You level your plant or zombie depending on what character they are until they're level 10, and then you can upgrade them and do it all over again and then upgrade them again. So there's kind of a prestige system, but there are perks you unlock doing that per guy. There's also cosmetics you unlock to put hats on your characters and more specific to your character cosmetics you can unlock. And then there are new characters you can unlock via real money or in-game money that is pretty obtainable. We all unlocked characters within a night, so wasn't too crazy. And yeah, it's a zany and surprisingly, in my opinion, tight shooter with a lot of humor and goofy looking characters with big bulging eyes. We all played it, and let's start with Chevy on your impressions of Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start or preface, I guess, this with I haven't played Plants vs. Zombies since it was a defense game. So I knew it had changed directions, but I had not tried any of the prior.
You didn't play Garden
iterations
Warfare
at all. Yeah, no. So that being said, my expectations were non-existent, and I will have to say that the game was way better than it deserves to be. Way better than it deserves to be.
way better.
I honestly expected to play this game for about an hour and be done with it, and I didn't want to stop playing, which is a great thing to say about a game. I think the game is full of imagination and creativity. The gameplay feels good. The characters are all unique and different, though obviously between factions you have some similarities, but even in that they
vary.
tweak it a little
Yeah.
bit so that they're not clones, which is a huge thank you as well, because
Also, every character has its own animations that are completely different than everything else.
yeah. It has a PvE mode, which is actually quite large. It did not have to have that. It could have just been a versus game and done all the same stuff and
Could
still
have just been like a defense horde mode.
yeah. And it has a co-op, multi-map, go do quests and random objectives mode, which with the game feeling good to play on top of it just having a like not taking itself seriously attitude is just a fun time the whole time. So like you said, combat feels good.
It's a really tight shooter.
Yeah,
it
I
feels
was-
good as a shooter.
I
It's
was
weird to say.
really kind of blown away. Without talking for you guys, we did participate in when we were winding down for the night. We just skirmished in a free
When we tried to wind down, we were getting ready to stop playing, and we all jumped down. So in the main hub area, it's kind of neat. The plant side and the zombie side, and they're separated by a place called Giddy Park, which is like a theme park. And we jump down there. It's a PvP zone. It's not the PvP. You can go play PvP. It's just a free area where
Just
you can
test out.
where you can shoot NPCs, but also people if they're on the other faction. And we went down there checking it out, and I kind of got into like this little thing where I started shooting at some people, and there's like 3 of them and 1 of me. And then finally like Chris hopped down, he's trying to like support me, and then like everyone just kind of hopped down that we're playing with. You hopped down, Sarah hopped down. Not really a whole lot of people, but then like the other side of like 7 people showed up, and then like 8, and then at one point it was like us 4 versus like 12 people, and they were like spawn camping us, but then people on our side showed up, and we just fucking decimated them, and it turned this whole fucking fight. And luckily you get XP down there, which is pretty cool. First off, it's weird doing PvP type shit with you guys. I'm okay with that, but you guys were all into it too. Like we were just fighting fucking for like I think we did that for like an hour or 2.
at least. Yeah,
It was crazy. So anyway, not to break
No,
your
it's
flow
fine.
on that,
So,
but that was a whole thing.
I was just to give it credit again. The we hopped down there like you said, and it ended up just not being a wind down. It turned into just us doing that for a while.
The only reason we stopped playing is because I think we overwhelmed the server. The whole game crashed.
The host
For all of
left,
us.
probably.
The host left.
The host
Yeah.
left.
They're probably pissed that they're getting their ass kicked. But it just like it kicked us all out of the fucking game. Like, it's probably time to call it quits.
Yeah, no, it was needed because we had to do this today, obviously.
I wanted to fucking make them suffer, dude. I wanted to destroy these fucking plants.
So the only game mode we didn't do I don't know if you guys played it before I did. So the only mode I didn't do is I didn't do like the actual structured PvP mode. Did 2 plant maps, 2 zombie maps. For the PvE content, did that all. I did it by myself and multiplayer is way more fun multiplayer, but it is still fun single player. So if you don't like playing with people, it's still fun and viable.
On that note, real quick, at the beginning of the month, this is one of those games I played all 3 of them early in the month. I played this one a little bit, and I was like, wait, this is fun. And I kept playing it. I was like, I think I like this game, and I was like, I need to play this with people. And I was like, yeah, it's 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
What? I was like, I gotta get everybody together to play this. Like, and it was way fucking better with people. Way better.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna kind of wrap it up so that you guys can have a chance to talk. Because I have a feeling I'm just gonna agree with you guys anyways with what you have to say on it. I do think this game was one of the times where I got a PlayStation Plus game that was a treat to get and will probably stay on my system because I don't feel like I'm done with it. So
I'm definitely not. Like, I literally, when I went to bed last night to wake up to fucking film this, I was like, I just want to keep playing. And then I woke up today, I'm like, I wish I had time to play Plants vs. Zombies right now. Which is so weird to say because you look at it and you're like, it's fucking Plants vs. Zombies, dude. Like, what
Yeah.
about just, here's my recommendation. Just go play it. Like, just play for a second. You'll probably like it. But yeah, well, the thing that's cool about that too is like this game was not on your radar.
Yeah.
You haven't played the other ones.
Yeah,
that are
zero
big,
expectations.
And I have played Garden Warfare, and I thought that game was better than it deserved to be. But it was just like PvP Call of Duty with Plants vs Zombies. I was like, I can just go play Call of Duty, but they did a pretty good job on it. Like that was my thought on it when I played it. So I knew this was probably going to be like pretty decent. But then like I started fucking playing it, and I was like, they went crazy with this fucking game. There's way more to this than I thought they were going to fucking have in it.
Yeah, honestly, the only complaint I have is I think getting around is a little could be better. It could be
It
better.
needs a fast travel or mounts.
I don't know about mounts, but when you
Fried a potato, that
the
was
first
thick.
time I started the game, it put me in the PV, and the second time I started the game, it put me in
That was weird,
the
yeah.
multiplayer hub. So like, I wish it was a little more consistent than that. Unless the first time only puts you in the PVE, and then after that, I do kind of wish there was a menu to tell right when the game starts, so I could just tell it where I want to go. So
Yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna jump in and gush real quick. So, unless you got more to say. So, this game, I'm just gonna say it is way better than you think it is. We've already said that, but I just want to emphasize that. You're hearing me say this, you're probably like, dude, are you really saying that? Yeah, dude, this game is fucking pretty fucking fun. It's kind of crazy. Things I like about it is it is more than a competent shooter. It's a tight shooter. It feels good. It's got a bunch of varied classes. They're all different. Even the ones that are slightly mirrored on both sides of Plants and Zombies are pretty fucking different. And there's some characters that are very different than the other side. With the upgrades, you get all these perks, stuff like that. So you get to kind of start changing up the way your character plays, and the progression feels invested, but not too long. To hit level 10 doesn't take that long, but you are playing for a little bit to get there. And when you get there, it's exciting to see what perks you're going to unlock. The PvP is way better than it should be. When I played by myself at first, I'm like, oh, you just kind of run around, you do escort missions or whatever. It's actually got quite a bit of varied missions, and it's got some like cinematic missions that I think are actually kind of funny. There's one where when we're playing the zombies, and again, you're playing as plants or zombies, you get to choose, and they have their own stories and stuff. So they're fully co-op. You see everybody's characters in the cinematics. It's pretty cool. As the zombies, like there's like a fucking balloon they're after up the hill, and there's all these plants that are like setting up defenses, and it's like D-Day, and like this zombie's like fucking like approaching the hill, and a fucking acorn gets shot at him. He just looks up and it's like smiling at him as it hits him and kills him. And then you have to do the assault or whatever, and you're like working your way up while all these acorns are flying at you, and they hit you and like kill you in like one shot almost. And then you get up there and you fucking take the building, and then you gotta get the balloon, and that's the whole mission. Is you're after this balloon with a little mad face
so
on
you
it.
could put gas in it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the mission. Then there's another mission where like you're tripping out, learning about the ways of being dumb and how to like get rid of books and like become more dumb or whatever. And then the ultimate dummy of the world is a actual dummy that you end up flying. It's fucking crazy. So my point is there's like these story quests that are like actually like these full played out things. It's not just like, oh, go kill that thing, go kill this thing. Although you are shooting a lot of stuff. That's kind of the point of the game. Also, there's bosses to fight, and they're like full fledged boss fights. It's not just a
With
dude.
mechanics.
It's not just a dude in a field that you have to shoot until he dies. Like the boss we fought was this giant tree, which is kind of cool because earlier there's these enemies that are these giant roots that come out of the ground, and this is like an advanced version of them. It has like the same face, but it's just a tree. So I thought it was kind of clever. And you're in this open area where those roots are on the ground, and you have to fight them down there. But then you have to launch up to the top where the tree's at, and you have to shoot it in the eye, and it's like rotating, and it's got things that it's got branches that fly around. You got to jump over, and like after a certain point, like these little hearts pop out of its head. You got to shoot those to break them, and it's this whole fucking fight that really felt fun with like 4 people. It felt like there's a lot going on. It was really crazy and chaotic, and when we beat it, it felt like we were in a fight. Like it wasn't like, oh, that was easy, whatever. It was like this whole thing. I really enjoyed that, and I want to go do the other boss fights. Yeah, and then there's like 4 zones. One of the zones looked like one of the zones that the plants have, but it's from an opposite perspective.
And at night.
And it's at night, so I think they've made some changes to the map for the zombies. But one of the zombie maps is completely different than the plant one. The plants have this like Neighborville map, and so do the zombies. That probably came out when the game came out. I'm assuming. Maybe the other ones came out later. I don't know. Let me know if you know. But with the plants, they have like this western map with a cheese pump. That's fucking weird. And then for the zombies, they have this like weird. It seems like it was a town at one point, but it's been taken over by nature. So there's trees everywhere and fucking roots and shit everywhere, and it's kind of crazy because you got to do a lot of platforming. So there's a really varied. This isn't like half-assed PVE. They like you could play this game and never touch PvP, and enjoy yourself and get everything unlocked. Unless there's things you only get in PvP, I'm not sure. But that'd be kind of cool. Let's see. And then on top of platforming, this game not only is a shooter, it kind of has like a Conker's Bad Fur Day Mario vibe to it, where there's like chests and secrets around the map and things unlock, kind of like Zelda, like you didn't have access there, now you do. So there's like a co-op platforming nature to it that's actually kind of fun too, and goes right in theme with the way the game looks. And of course, everybody knows how Plants vs Zombies looks, but I really like it's interesting playing a shooter that does not feel intense. I guess it doesn't feel high stress. It feels fun, with the character models. They're shooting all these interesting and creative abilities and weapons, stuff like that. There's a corn cob guy. Both his corn cobs are machine guns, and I even appreciated the sound design of you hear the corn or the kernels popping, and they get like higher pitched as you almost out of ammo. There's a lot of really good sound design in this game. It's
Like
really interesting.
Football player zombie. He's got his Gatling gun is a football launcher, and they sound like air-filled balls coming out of it.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah, exactly. And when you shot the little guy, I was wearing my headphones, and when he shot him from left to right, I heard him pass by and stuff. So they, it sounds weird, but like there's a lot of production to this game. They did not half-ass anything. The sound design's good. The graphics, I think, are good and clean. I think the animations are really good. Every single character has their own animations. They're all different. The guy I really like to play is this like little munchkin zombie guy. And when he runs, when everybody runs, they all have their own animations. But he starts flying and just kind of spinning in air while he's moving. And even when you jump, he does like a front flip, back flip, side flips, or whatever, depending on what direction you're jumping. There's just a lot of work put into the animations, making every single character not only have different moves but different feels, like the way they move, even the speeds they move, stuff like that. It's really really cool to go through and check out every single class. There's also some really interesting classes. Each team has like a group class. For instance, there's like this tree dude, but if you play as an acorn, I guess you can hop into the top of him and work as a turret on top of him while he runs around, so you can kind of work together as a team. There's also cosmonaut, or whatever the fuck they're called, space cadet, and they fly around in a flying saucer, but you can transform into like the space station thing, and other people playing that flying saucer character can attach themselves to your space station. You can have like 4 people, and they're just kind of rotating in a circle, and they're all shooting in different directions, and there's a shield you can rotate around it. We never tried that fully, but I think we should at some point, because I don't think we're all done with this game. I kind of feel that's the case after playing last night. And also there was a class that Chris was playing. I think it's the wizard, that you can like, and I'll let you dive into that further because you played that class. But as I was playing, you're able to fly above my head and hang out with me, and you're able to give me kind of buffs and stuff while I was fighting, which is kind of cool because the guy I like to play brings down a mech, very much like Titanfall. And I felt right at home. I was like, this is Titanfall. Like, what the fuck? Except for it's goofy as shit. And you would like fly above my head and like let me be able to see through walls and like give me invincibility buffs and shit. And it's kind of a cool coordinated effort when we're doing that PvP fuck fest that we're doing in Giddy Park. I'm so pissed I didn't get that footage. I wanted that fucking footage so bad, and the game fucking kicked us out. Yeah, the host did leave, but the game crashed because that's why I couldn't get the footage.
Oh, mine didn't crash.
Oh
It
yeah,
just got
mine
kicked.
crashed. That's why I thought that
Maybe
game,
you were the host.
maybe I was the host because we all got kicked at the same time, but my game crashed, so maybe
Yeah.
I was the host. Maybe because I started the party. That's why you guys got kicked. That's probably the host part.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, Finally figuring shit out. Fuck. What else can I say? So the hub area is really fucking cool though, because like I said, there's the two different sides. Kind of feels like an MMO, and then that center area where it's a PvP section. It's really cool looking. There's like rides you can jump on. They don't move super fast or anything like that, but you can go on like the Ferris wheel and stuff like that. So they did all these like cool little details. There's like a dance area on the zombie side. I don't know if the plant side has something like this. They have a shooting range, but that's not as interesting. Where like the floor starts showing you where you can't stand. You have to constantly move around on this colorful area, and the longer you go, I think you get more XP. And then yeah, there's like a shop there where you can buy new stuff with real money or in-game money. There's like a little vending machine thing where you can get random cosmetics that cost like 15,000 gold that you accrue pretty quickly if you play the game long enough.
I spent all my money before you shut it off last night. So
Yeah. And yeah, there's just a lot going on. There's also like 8 little mini quests in the hub area that you can do really quickly. They more serve as a tutorial, but they are kind of neat that you can just run around and do these little things. There's like stuff to do in the hub, which I think is cool. Social stuff. I love social stuff in games. That PvP area is fucking awesome. That you can just hop in there and like casually, no points involved, just fight other people. I was having a blast just fucking running in there and trying to just. I was fucking heated, man. I was like, I'm gonna destroy all these motherfuckers. There's a sniper that was just sitting on a tree. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill that dude. I pulled out a sniper, started taking him out. He got off that tree. I'm like, I'm trying to discourage you as much as possible. Stay the fuck off that tree.
yeah, I did something similar too at one point where he was just like not leaving a spot. I was like, I'm switching to the bow. Like,
yeah, I'm like gonna make sure you don't want to be up there anymore.
Yeah.
And then turning into the mech and just mowing down like fucking 4 people, 5 people at a time. I was fucking loving it. And what I didn't do the PvP. I didn't play any of the modes. I played the PvE versions of them, and they're fun doing the co-op. But yeah, just where we're going when we're playing the game, we didn't hop in there. That's why I was surprised that we even did some PvP on accident. There's one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I completely forgot what it is. Maybe it'll come back to me. Chris, impressions.
So I used to watch the kids that I nannied for play the previous game, Garden Warfare.
Yeah.
So I kind of had an idea of like what the game was gonna be like, but I was so pleasantly surprised about the PvE content and how well it played and how unique and varied it felt every time and every mission that we did. Like I didn't feel like I was repeating things over and over again. And there's these things in the map called bounties where there's just like mini boss fights that you can do. And even those felt unique and varied. There was one we did where it was squash tag, where you were fighting this giant squash that was chasing after you and a bunch of little flowers, and you had to shoot the flowers without letting the squash touch you. And it felt unique because the other ones were just kind of, one of them was just like kind of shoot the guy and kill him. Tough guy, but still just kind of DPS check kind of system. But it's nice that they're so very unique every time.
Yeah, if you kill the squash or touches anybody, the mission fails.
Or jumps off the edge.
Yeah, or jumps off the edge because we tried. Chris particularly jumped on a branch to try and stay away from the squash, and the squash just ran off the cliff and then died. So we had to restart. I'm like, guess we can't do that. It was a good idea, Chris, but it didn't work.
My biggest takeaway outside of the fun factor of playing the game in general is the design of the game, and that the characters are all so unique in every animation that they have and sound that they do. It's just so impressive and so well done. And I cannot help but laugh every time I see Seth's character, the imp, running across the field, because when you take off at first, because he's got a little jetpack for his running animation, he skids his face across the ground and then kind of lifts off and just kind of spirals out of control slowly across the field.
Yeah, it's sloppy. He just goes against the ground and starts just flying. And the whole time he's just like, just laughing the whole. Everything he does, he's like. And when he starts shooting, I can stand still. And as soon as he starts shooting, he's like, just unloading. He's just loving everything. That guy doesn't give a shit about anything.
It's so well done. I personally think that the zombies are more entertaining to watch in animation styles than the plants are.
They went all out with the zombies.
Yeah,
the plants are cool. I was enjoying myself, but then we found out we could play as zombies. There's a whole new world, and like they're all like space and sci-fi and do all sorts of like technological things.
Way too much tech.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they're flying in UFOs and jetpacks and shit, and it's like they're just dumb looking zombie guys.
Yeah, it's just so well animated and so well designed to feel varied, but not like this side has this, so they're overpowered, and this side has this, so they're overpowered. It's a very well balanced game as far as like for PvP content. It's just it was just so much fun playing. Like I said, we didn't stop playing until the game crashed. Like and we were up to like 5:15, 5-ish, 30-ish in the morning, like just nonstop playing the game. And there is so much content. Every time I turn around, there'd be more content to do. I'm like, where is it at and why? There's so much to do.
And two things worth noting is this is a premium game. This game came out, you had to buy it. So this isn't a free to play game. It doesn't feel like a free to play game. There is monetization on certain things, but I feel like a lot of it's fair. Some of it you have to buy. But anything that's important, like buying characters or whatever, is accessible in the game and completely doable.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
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 Fuck, I had another point. I completely forgot it. I'm forgetting shit. Anyway, sorry.
It's fine. Some of my favorite characters to play were the multiplayer characters, like the cause or the space cadet and the acorn, which turns into a tree. Like I really like that group interaction of like working together as one cohesive monstrous unit. Because when like the space cadet, when you, I'm sure it's the same with the acorn. I didn't really pay too much attention to it, but when you shift into your multiplayer form, your health like quadruples. Like you are a massive entity of damage. You're the tank class, as they classify it. But I really enjoyed playing the class I unlocked, which is called the Wizard. It's a support character, and like Seth said, I can pick and choose who I kind of like leech onto, and they get like this weird little like cloud hat thing, with the Eye of Sauron on it. So like,
It's kind
if
of
I face the same direction as the other person is, it lights up, and then my attacks are stronger, and they heat seek as well. But it also allows the other player to see through walls. Like you can see where the enemies are running around and stuff like that. It
Also,
has
my
a potion
armor
of
went up when you were on top of me.
what was that?
Your armor, or my armor went up when you were on top of me as well. Anytime you were
Yeah,
above me,
yeah.
my guy had more health.
Yeah. So I would take the damage before you would, and then it would pop me off once the armor disappeared. I'd still be
Okay.
alive, but I have less health when I'm in that mode and kind of take the damage for everybody else ahead of time. So it's a nice little buffer. They also have like a potion of invulnerability that lasts like 2 seconds, but it makes so that the person's get hit by it. They can't sprint and they can't jump. It's just kind of like a oh shit button, which is kind of hard to get the timing of, but it seems like it can be pretty well done. But it was just an immense surprise and joy to play this game. It was the like cream of the crop for this month's games for me. It was just so well done.
Yeah, the other two games were pretty fucking whatever. We were talked about them, but this one definitely made up a lot for this month, like a lot, because this game wasn't just like, well, it's the best one of the three. Like it's like a legit fun game. It's like a good ass game. So that was cool. And it's a game I thought about buying when it came out, but I was like, like, the Garden Warfare games are fine. Am I going to really play it that much? I never picked it up. So I'm glad that I got to play it this way because it definitely deserves people playing it. Yeah. Two things I wanted to touch on as well. Hopefully I remember them since my brain's not working. The TTK is good in this game. Time to kill, if you don't know what that is. In a game like Overwatch or like Team Fortress 2, I feel like enemies are really spongy. By enemies, I mean other players. And combat feels more like an MMO PvP. And then you got games where you shoot people like twice and they die. And that's where I like to play games typically when it comes to shooters. This game is a really good middle ground between those two things. There are enemies that are tanky, but they're not, it doesn't take a long time to kill them unless they're being healed, which I do like. I think it's cool that you can actually be like a legit healer in this game. But for the most part, you can drop people pretty quickly, especially because the game incentivizes headshots. You do more damage when you shoot people in the head, and that's nice. I like that. So skill does kind of matter, but also you have a lot of tools to fight people, which I think is it makes it feel welcoming to people who are not into competitive shooters or not into shooters. I think a lot of people who wouldn't play a Call of Duty would play this equally tight shooter because it is like a corn cob and a fucking mushroom ninja and goofy zombies that grind their face on the ground when they fly. The tone and the moves and stuff like that, I think just make the game feel a little more casual, even though I do think it feels like a pretty competent fucking shooter. And anyway, the TTK is good for anybody who would possibly have interest in that. And then the second thing I think is kind of genius is the PvE is not just something to get you prepared for PvP, but it does get you prepared for PvP. A lot of the enemy types you fight, whether you're a zombie versus the plants or plants versus the zombies, you are fighting NPCs that you can't play as, I don't think, some of them, but a lot of them are just the other classes in the game. And so you do get to learn their abilities and how to fight against them. It is an AI, and the AI is not stupid. They use their abilities and stuff. But it does get you a little seasoned for when you play a real person. They're obviously going to have their own like human tactics, but they're going to be using the abilities that you're very well aware of because you fought them in the PvE. And so it kind of takes the edge off of like, oh fuck, I got to learn the game to fight against people. You're going to have to learn maps, but like you're going to be very familiar with the characters and their abilities through playing them, but also playing against them in the PvE. And I think it's a really smart thing. It merges the two while also not cheapening the PvE to just be like, kill some things, learn, then go play the PvP. It's a full-fledged PvE game with a lot of shit that the PvP doesn't offer. I think it's a really good. This game is just full of really good design, and this is an EA game, so it's like nice to say that somebody at EA is like putting out a solid game that is like, you can tell the people who made this game fucking had fun with it. They had a lot of good ideas. They're probably really excited when they made it. They probably know they made a really fun game. It's EA, so a lot of people probably played it already, but I do really feel like a lot of people should play this game if they were kind of on the fence about it, because it is made by a big developer, but passionate devs. You can tell by the game. They put a lot of work into everything in the game, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anything else on impressions? It's fun. We had a lot of fun playing it. I want to play more. Let's jump into recommendations. I'm going to loosely recommend it to everybody, even if you're not into shooters. I think the visual style, the gameplay that offers enough for people who want higher skill stuff, but people who also want a casual experience. I think it welcomes that. Kids could play this game if you're okay with the idea of shooting, I guess, but there's no like violence. Enemies just kind of like disappear, run away.
It's pretty tame, yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's a fun game. So even if you're an adult, it's kind of like Pixar. You can enjoy this game no matter what. So I do think this game is really geared for everybody, specifically because of that PvE and that PvP. You can really just do what you want. You can play by yourself. You can play with friends. It's a lot more fun with friends, but it's still fun with people or just by yourself. And there's a lot of really cool ideas going on here. If I'm going to be more specific, though, and I do definitely recommend everybody, but if I'm going to be more specific, if you're into shooters and you're like looking at the game and going like that game, check it out. I'm a big shooter fan, and it's tight. It feels good. If you like hero shooters, you're gonna be at home here. If you like Call of Duty, you're gonna be at home here. Or any game that's like Call of Duty, which is most FPSs. If you like Battlefield, you might like this, although it doesn't have any kind of like advanced Battlefield Levolution or anything like that. But that has modes similar. If you like the Plants vs. Zombies franchise and some reason you didn't play this, check it out. Even if you played the old games, there's a lot of like nods to it, which I think are really cool. There's even like tower defense modes like that. So it's kind of a cool nod to the origins of the series. If you like MMOs loosely, this is not an MMO, but it does kind of have a MMO light feeling to it in the sense of like two factions. You can go questing and PvE together with friends, doing quests and leveling up. You're not going to get like gear or anything like that, but that's the social element of MMOs. It kind of feels like that a little bit. It's a loose recommendation, but it's there. If you like colorful, zany, trying to be funny, cartoony type games, that I do think is pretty successful here. I would recommend that. And this isn't like Fortnite cartoony. It's Plants vs Zombies been around for a long time. They got their own style going on, and I think it works really well here.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't borrow that low detail.
Yeah, it's
look.
detailed. This game has a lot going on. For what it is, it's cartoony looking, but it's not. It was around before Fortnite, so it's got its own style. It's got its own thing it's doing. Yeah, you like PvP, PvE, Co-op games, games where you unlock perks and make your builds. They're loose builds. They're not like super crazy intricate, but they're there, and you can unlock more and more as you promote yourself. So there's something to work towards. And cosmetics, if you like that kind of thing. I'm just recommending this to everyone, really. So, hey, you guys got any specifics you want to throw in there? Agree with everyone?
I think you pretty much, especially when you went more into breakdown stuff, I think you pretty much covered it. I would just say, like, just try it. And if it's your thing, it's your thing. If it's not, it's not. Though it is a game, for me, at least when I first started it, I was a little hesitant, I guess, going into it because it is appearance wise not necessarily like immediately like it doesn't have an immediate wow factor. It's definitely something you like. It grows on you when you're playing into it and stuff like that. So give it a little bit of
100%.
time before you dismiss it.
Yeah, because like if you've played the tower defense games, you're aware of the series, you've seen all the pictures of the plants and the zombies or whatever. That doesn't really do it. They did a really good job with feeling out the essence of the goofiness of the game, and it really takes time to play the game to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Still pictures don't do it. Like there's a lot of like sounds and animations and the way things act that has a really strong charm to it that I do agree you have to invest. Because yeah, like I had played the prior games and I like when like it's probably gonna be fine. I started playing it and I really liked it. And like you were like, and then you play it and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It took a second. So
Yeah. Chris?
I got nothing than that. I think you guys nailed it on the head.
All right. Well, I'm gonna nail you on the head right here and make you grade this first.
I am gonna give this an A minus because I can't give it an A because there's no real story to dive into for me to have any strong emotional effects to. But the game is so entertaining and so well done that it's still on my system. Like I intend to play it again with everybody. It's just such a fun game all around, just great. So an A minus for me.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm going A minus as well. I think the fun factor's there. I think it's a really fun game. They put a lot of work into it. I think everything about it is done really well, and there's a really strong charm to the game that makes me want to play whatever game they make next. Hopefully, they don't make a shitty game after this. But it is a big surprise how much I enjoyed this game. It's a lot of fun, and with people, it's a lot of fun. I'm also not going A because there's no strong emotional attachment to it, but that fucking charm is strong, and the gameplay is fun, and it's a tight shooter. Like any shooter, I'm judging it the same as I judge any fucking shooter. It's a tight shooter. I can get those headshots. I can fucking jump in with machine guns and drop someone quick. It's just as satisfying to me. It's just the visual style is different as if I was playing like, Call of Duty or something like that, or another hero shooter or something. So yeah, easy A minus. I just can't go any higher than that because there's no emotional attachment. Nothing, I guess, revolutionary. Although for Plants vs Zombies, it feels pretty fucking revolutionary. They did a really good job with this game. So yeah.
I'm gonna go just a little lower. I'm gonna go with a B plus, and the only reason it's not an A minus for me is I feel like the currencies in the game, though are usable, I feel like they're underutilized. I do think
I agree with
there
that.
should be more things to purchase. And this is a nitpick, really. Like the game itself is fun, but as far as unlockables go, I do think it needs a little more in that regard. So
If the game wasn't as fun as it is to play, I would really focus in on that because progression is huge for me and being able to unlock stuff is huge for me. And you can do it in this game. It's not as strong as I'd like it to be,
yeah,
but
it's pretty bare bones.
I do play this game without checking my level constantly, without checking what cosmetics I have. I'm just enjoying myself.
For sure.
And that's something worth definitely noting. But I do agree. I do think that the currencies serve as getting a couple things, but then using to get gold to buy other things.
and to play the gotcha. with
And
it.
I feel like there could be more for sure to do with it. And hopefully they add that. I agree. It's definitely, I think, the biggest weakness in the game.
Yeah, well, besides like a simplified navigation for people who don't want to wander,
Yeah.
like just a menu option to be like, I want to do this thing, like, and be able to
Yeah,
click on that.
that'd be nice.
So,
The game's already pretty casual. so there's no-
nitpicks,
yeah.
right? But it is enough to make me go, they have room to grow. I'm gonna give it a B plus. So
For sure. All right, well, bet you guys didn't fucking expect, unless you played the game and like it a lot. Bet you didn't expect us to give it a fucking A minus and a B plus. I didn't. When I started this month, I was like, I'm not giving Plants vs Zombies a fucking A minus. Probably give it like a B something maybe. So yeah, let us know in the comments though. What you guys think of Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville? Did you play it? Did you not play it? Did you like it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why didn't you like it? If you played it, and liked it. What'd you like about it? Maybe you liked it, but not as much as us. Maybe there's some weaknesses you like to share with the game, things you think they could improve upon. What was your favorite character on plant or zombie side?
I like the I like tanks on both sides. Sadly, I
I
like
liked the tanks a lot too, which is weird because I'm not into tanks.
the football Gatling gun guy on the zombie side. I also
I liked when you played him because I got to use your shield.
Well, I also like the support guy with the turret. He was good too. The grenades were really good in PvP. In PvE, they kind of suck.
I never noticed you even playing that guy. I saw you driving around on the drill, but
Yeah, he has a grenade launcher, so it's all lob shots. So when they were trying to come up stairs and stuff like that, I would just like lob them down the
nice.
stairs
Yeah, I
and
didn't
stuff. And then the tower gives a speed buff as well as being a turret.
oh, that's what was giving me a buff. Okay.
Yeah, so it also shoots the enemies too. It's a pretty fun class. You should try it out. And then on the plant side, I pretty much just like the acorn that turns into the giant tree. He's pretty awesome. So
Yeah. On the plant side, I liked what I called corn pop, the fucking the corn on the cob. He's a dual wielding machine gun guy.
a couple jerks last night. I liked him too.
Oh yeah, no, he. Well, I was telling Sarah, I was like, that dude is meant to kill. That's his purpose. He has machine guns, he has grenades, and he jumps over people, shoots the ground, and the ground explodes. So I mean, like, if you're having problems with that guy, that dude's just there to kill. If you're a healer, you're not going to be able to match him. If the guy knows what he's doing. But yeah, I liked him because he's assault. He fucking unloads. He's got a cool move where, well, one I thought was interesting. He shoots butter, and you butter the enemy, and they become weaker.
It's got a weird like oil effect too. When it goes off.
They're all like buttery. And then his second move, he jumps upside down, and you're able to move him in the air, and he shoots the ground under him upside down, and then everywhere he shoots explodes after, and actually does quite a bit of damage, which is pretty cool. And then another one on the plant side I like is the tank who's an orange. He walks around kind of like a crab or a spider with his peels, and he has these fucking like tracer sunglasses on. I like the way he looks, but
It's also got like the Reinhardt shield or whatever.
yeah, he's got a Reinhardt shield and a big like Gatling gun. He's pretty cool and has the ability to roll around like Sonic, which I like. And then on the zombie side, I like most of them, but I definitely like the little imp guy.
The Nugget.
Yeah, because he's dual wielding SMGs essentially. He can oh fuck, I forgot his moves. Why did I forget? Because I play the mech so much. What the fuck is his thing?
I've never played
God.
it.
Oh, he has a little like bubble that he shoots. Oh, it's gravity bomb. Fuck, I can't believe I forgot that. I didn't get much sleep. My brain's not working. He's got a gravity bomb. I just upgraded so it's bigger, but anything in it gets sucked to the center, which is nice in PvP because people go to run and I just suck them back and I start shooting them. And a couple of things, I think he's got some kind of grenade thing. But then he can call down a mech that has a complete different set of moves. You can eject out of it and explode. I killed some people in PvP like that. That was funny. And then, yeah, he's got a missile move and then something else. But he was definitely my favorite. That dude, fast, agile, got fucking machine guns and a mech. I'm sold. Perfect. And he's awesome.
As far as plan size go, I think the mushroom was my favorite character to play. Just quick, get in there, get out, do a bunch of damage, kind of squishy, glass cannon type character. A lot of fun. But the zombies, there's three I really like. I like the disco lady, the electric lady, because her attacks chain, and she's got a bunch of AOE stuff that she can do.
I like her
I like
animations too. They're really good looking.
The multi-person character, the cosmonaut, the space cadet.
Cadet, yep.
Thematically, I really like that one a lot. And then the wizard was a lot of fun, just to kind of be like a support that can latch on to people.
Yeah, that one's interesting. It seems like you got to be really into support to want to play that one because that's really what he does. The space cadet's funny when they run because their fucking UFO starts hauling ass and their arms are just in the air swinging around while they're fucking going. It's ridiculous.
Also when they turn into the space station and they're just like in like no gravity spinning.
Yeah, just spinning around. That's funny looking.
Like, what the hell?
It's like those stupid little fucking acorns that fly around. I hate them.
I like that, but,
Sitting in, I hate fighting them. Sitting in the top of the tree, like I got killed by the tree one time, and I just looked at the when I was dead, looking at the person who killed me, and it's just this tree running around, and in the top there's these little acorns just unloading everywhere.
At one point when we were in Giddy Park, that guy had 3 acorns.
Yeah.
His hit points were insane.
Yeah, every time I fought him, he would like just melt me real quick, and I do mince
Because you were
damage.
fighting 4 people.
Yeah, exactly. And they had 2 trees at one point, but one tree had 3, and then the other one had like 1 in it or whatever. I was like, these guys are fucking joining forces, Voltron. Yes, we definitely have our favorites. Let us know yours in the comments, and let us know everything you're thinking about all the games we played this month, and are you excited for the games that possibly we can play next month. Let us know everything you're thinking about. But that's going to do it for this episode of Plus Club for August. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on social media and our streams. Links down below. Discord down below. Talk to us anytime, all the time. You can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And we have a Patreon if you'd like to support this channel more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. If you're brand new, I want to thank everybody who joined us for our Gamescom coverage when we streamed that. Thanks for hanging out with us, even on the episode where we had fucking a bunch of troubles during the stream and after the stream when we got dinged for copyright shit and took 2 days for that to get cleared. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for hanging out with us, and check out those episodes if you didn't see them. I want to thank Chris and Chevy for joining me and having this conversation and playing a really fun game with me. Hopefully play more of it. And yeah, I've been Seth. Have a good one, and take it easy, guys.